we also had an interesting game in London last Saturday afternoon, Matt. Adare were an All-Ireland Junior quarter-final camogie action against Tara of Great Britain. And I suppose looking at the first half an hour of the game, you could say maybe a small bit of jet lag or something, but Adare started slowly. Tara started strongly, but a goal by Avine Houlihan just before half time seemed just to settle it there. And in the end, they ran out 3-8 to 9 winners. Relatively comfortable for a lot of the second half, but very tricky assignment. They got past it, and now they can look forward to an All Ireland semi final against either Bridini Oga or Granmore on Sunday week, the 11th as well. But for Adare to travel over to London and get the win is no easy achievement.
No, Jack, and when we were talking here last week, without calling it a banana skin, we were pointing it out as being a potential banana skin because I was looking at the composition of the Tara team. Now they were not just the London champions; they were the All Britain champions, and whilst our own Claire Enright from formerly of Ballingarry and formerly Limerick underage player was the one that stuck out for us. Who was full back on the day, but they were drawn from counties with a very, very strong camogie pedigree, and I'm talking about the Corks, the Kilkennys, the Galway. Like the entire full forward line was from Galway, and Wexford and Roisin Kelly, who was their main scorer from frees, was from Wexford. But Tara had a very strong breeze in the first half, and it had affected the game. And I thought that Adare were slightly slow in settling as well, Jack. Now, they got the perfect start, if you like, when Poppy Giltinan put over the bar and inside the first minute. And I was saying to myself, anyway, this is exactly what we wanted. But they had fallen 6-2 behind. In the we'll say after 25 minutes, and very few could argue, but that Tara were worth it at that stage, Jack, because they were putting pressure on it. They weren't allowing Sophie O'Callaghan at centre half back, and you know the importance she is to this team. They weren't allowing her to get into her dominant self, like they were crowding around her and making sure, but you could see as the half was wearing on that their best efforts were failing, and she was coming into the game, and she was thundering into the game actually. And now the goal that they got was probably a bit of a fortuitous nature. It looked as the clock ticked up to 30 minutes, actually 31 minutes, the goal came, but on 30 minutes they were 4 points behind, and it from a defender's point of view. It was a horrendous delivery from Caoimhe Costello, as she can deliver those probing balls that cause all sorts of problems, and it broke. And Avine Houlihan, Jack, she finished it to the net, and what a predator she's turning out to be now. Avine wasn't nominated to play in the Munster final. She came in as a late replacement when Aisling Connolly cried off, and she got a goal within a minute of the start of the Munster final, the goal that actually proved very decisive as the game went on. And she got 2 goals on Saturday, and by half time they were level. And then after half time, Jack, it was obvious right from the throw-in of the second half, and you saw it, Adare were into the rhythm that we knew.
Yeah.
Sophie O'Callaghan was dominant at centre back. Grace McNamara at full back. We had Caoimhe Costello really showing us why she was nominated for an All-Star, and she got a couple of great points from play, Caoimhe Costello, and and Avine Houlihan got the second goal, and Poppy Giltinan got the third. But Jack, I was hugely impressed again. I have to say, 4 of that Adare team have been named on the Limerick minor camogie team for next year, and I thought all 4 of them were outstanding in London last week. Amy Mullins at cornerback, Ciara Dunn at centre, in the centre of the field. And by the way, talk about hurling pedigree. Ciara Dunn is the granddaughter of Tony Maloney, who was back in the 70s. He was the prince of midfielders. He was one of the mainstays of the Kilmallock team that won 3 in a row at midfield. An absolutely elegant hurler, represented his county. You had Carla Dunn in it, wing forward again, very, 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 very good, and she's on the minor team next year. As is Poppy Giltonan. Like Poppy Giltonan, like it's her progression in the last 12 months has been simply phenomenal.
Yeah,
I saw her last year in the football, and I thought she was exceptional at that for her age. But those players are blessed, Jack. Those players are blessed in that they have the like of Grace McNamara, Sophie O'Callaghan, Quiva Costello to show them the way, to show them the ropes.
Yeah, and they're certainly
Aisling Connolly when she's fit, like
they're being led by the best, and they're responding.
Aisling will be back for the semi-final, and of course, it will give Michelle Gallagher a nice little headache with Avian Houlihan with 3 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, it's not the worst headache for a manager to have, but yeah, Adare into an All-Ireland semi-final that'll be played next Sunday, as I said, on the 11th. So we'll touch on that game more next weekend.